The federal government has put safari hunting of saltwater crocodiles back on the agenda, with a proposal to allow the practice about to open for public comment. For some Indigenous landowners, that's good news. They say safari hunting would create much needed economic opportunity out bush. But alarm bells are ringing for animal welfare groups who strongly oppose any plan for safari hunting. Crocodile hunting was big business in the Northern Territory for most of the 20th century.
It wasn't so much a culling program as that they just simply weren't protected. So in the early days, crocodile skins attracted money. They were used for their leather, and so they were hunted broadly by most of the community.
Adventurers and game hunters headed north to cash in on the international demand for skins. By the end of the 1960s, crocodile numbers had fallen drastically. In 1971, the saltwater crocodile was declared endangered, with just 3,000 remaining in the wild.
The saltwater crocodile is listed as an endangered species internationally, which means it's, as a country, Australia can trade in and have commercial use of crocodiles, but we do have to meet stringent national requirements to allow that trade to happen.
There's no way it's female, that's too big.
A management plan was brought in focusing on conservation. Today, crocodile numbers are booming, with the population estimated between 100 and 150,000. Professor Graham Webb has been working with crocodiles for decades. He regards crocodile management in the Northern Territory as an international success story.
You know, crocodile management in the Northern Territory is really a world-class example of how crocodiles can be managed. It's used all over the world as a case history.
There are too many of them. They've been growing in numbers exponentially.
When 11-year-old Briony Goodsell was taken by a crocodile near her home in Darwin's rural area 3 years ago, the tragedy reignited fears of expanding crocodile numbers in urban areas.
They are moving into systems that have been vacated by freshwater crocodiles. And what our rangers are telling us from the field is that they are seeing more and more smaller saltwater crocodiles further into freshwater systems.
Following Briony Goodsell's death, a 50-kilometre exclusion zone was declared around Darwin, with a plan to remove and trap crocodiles found in that zone.
Whilst we're trapping and removing every crocodile we can, we're not pointing at or aiming towards a system or an environment where there are no crocodiles.
We're coming up to 3 years since Briony's passing, and there's a lot of emotions, a lot of raw emotions as well.
Just this week, Briony Goodsell's mother, Charlene O'Sullivan, was forced to revisit her daughter's horrible death. More crocodiles have moved into her rural Darwin block, where she lives with her husband and daughter Bethany. One large croc has been caught, but she fears there's more.
We have quite a few dams on our block, and it just makes me wonder, if that one was in there when I didn't think there was anything in that particular dam, how many more are there?
Whether it's actually practical to sustain a 50-kilometre exclusion zone around Darwin is still contentious. Although additional staff and resources have been allocated, some say the extra funds aren't enough.
They haven't got the funds available to be able to go and do what they want to do. They're understaffed, they're underfunded. You know, we're talking about an animal that eats people.
In the same year as Briony Goodsell's death, the federal government approved the current Northern Territory Crocodile Management Plan.
OK, so there's some eggs in here.
It focused on an egg harvesting program, removing 60,000 crocodile eggs from the wild every year.
Not infertile.
The federal government knocked back a proposal to allow safari hunting of crocodiles in the territory.
What is the difference between kangaroos and sharks that we can cull and crocodiles that apparently we're not able to move?
The federal government has now changed its tune, and safari hunting is back on the agenda. A proposal to allow the practice is about to be open for public comment.
There's a legal process we have to go through, and I'll be opening that up to public comment. But certainly it's something where I've got no principle that says that it should be knocked out of hand.
For some Indigenous landowners, that's good news. They say safari hunting would create much needed economic opportunity out bush.
You know, increasing our involvement in that industry means getting people into jobs, into better training, increased involvement in the crocodile management.
We pushed for the safari hunting for 25 animals. Those 25 animals would just open the door to be able to continue on with a thinning out process and to be able to value add the animal at the same time.
Taxidermist Mick Pittman has been pushing for game hunting to be allowed in the Territory for years. The crocodile hunter says it's already happening illegally.
Well, from what I've seen in the Territory, it's already happening anyway, because there's been a lot of animals floating up and down the river without heads and so forth, and these are trophy animals.
Alarm bells are ringing for animal welfare groups who strongly oppose any plan for safari hunting.
The whole point about safari hunting is trophy hunting. It's to take a trophy home. And the main problem in terms of welfare is that there's no requirement for those shooters to have any training or be demonstrated to be competent in actually shooting crocodiles humanely.
People talk about different animal welfare issues, different ethical issues, and they all have to be part of the consideration. But let's not pretend that there aren't also ethical issues in allowing traditional owners an income. And I want to make sure that this is done properly according to national environmental law.
We also do check the scar underneath them.
For those who work closely with crocodiles every day, striking the right balance in managing the animal is vital.
It's really easy to push the fear buttons with crocodiles, and it's such an iconic part of life in the top end that we don't want to take that sort of pendulum too far in the other direction and seek to remove all crocodiles.